broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We are down to 10. We got a new entrant, and we got a party here in the studio right now. And we're about to chat live about WWE Tough Enough. You can watch live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Of course, give that 5-star rating. And join the chat in our live chat roll. And, of course, keep the conversation going. Hashtag ABTV Tough Enough. I think that's everything for the intro, right?
Yes,
what's up? We're going to talk. What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. Follow me on Twitter at RealRosenberg. No Steve tonight. He is out of town. We found a replacement for him. We're going to introduce her in just a moment. Over on the other side, at Chris Reports, Miss Christy Olsen.
Woo, woo. You know what? Forget a vacay. I feel better at work, honey.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Next to you, the encyclopedia of sports entertainment and drinking Christy's drink for some reason. At G. Hermoza.
I love water. And
it's
I will
George
challenge
Hermoza.
Patrick to a wrestling knowledge contest because he seems like he's a know-it-all. I challenge you, Patrick. I know you're watching because you know we have somebody on the show, but I challenge you officially.
Well,
will you be man enough to answer my challenge?
Let's see who this person is that has joined us on the show. I mean, now you're familiar with her from her UFC AfterBuzz, but of course, if you're watching this show, that means you know that you were cheering her on and supporting her while she was on Tough Enough. Our AfterBuzz sister, she's here now in the studio. We talked to her while she was in Florida. She's here right now at Tough Daria. Daria Berenato is here.
Woo, woo.
What's up?
What's up, guys? What's happening? It is really weird over here on this leather couch. Normally, I'm sitting where you guys are interviewing the awesome guests. So this is
And
a little
you know
weird.
what? She wanted to sit up here like old school Daria. We were like, listen, honey, you're a reality star now. You sit on that couch and you represent Tough Enough, girl.
So weird, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna deal with it.
It wasn't like, hey, you should sit on the couch. Chrissy was like, you get on that couch.
I fought her, and she beat me. She was like, you better sit
You
down.
revel in your reality stardom.
I'm here.
Now, a week has passed now. Has it sunk in that you're no longer at the barracks in the performance center?
It's been really weird. It's kind of like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, I'm in my house and I'm like, I have my own shower. I have my own, like, it's weird. And, like, at first, I really didn't like it. Like, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I miss the barracks. Like, I really loved being there. Like I said, I never had that college experience, so that was kind of like my dorm, you know? So it was really fun, and of course I miss it, but only great things have happened since I left the show, so...
And we're going to get into some of those great things as we go on and break down this episode. The show starts with the cast coming home from the elimination, and there's somebody at the house.
Oh, listen, I loved this up and down. I don't know what your experience was with Chelsea in the top 40, and I know you guys had some time together, but when she came up in there and moved stuff around, she gave Tanner her little picture, she poured herself a stiff drink, and she was sitting there waiting for everybody to come home. I sort of thought, like, all right, girl, all right, lady boss. Well, let's do this. She made quite the entrance.
No,
what I'm saying.
She certainly did, and we're talking about Chelsea. For those of you listening, Chelsea
I thought
made her
was
appearance.
Megan Miller.
No, it was not Megan Miller. It was not.
Megan Miller.
That was a role she played one Monday Night Raw.
You mean she wasn't really
wasn't
Daniel
dressed
Bryan's
Tough
physical
Enough.
therapist?
No.
Who cheated on Brie Bella? Daniel Bryan? So you need to tell me that Daniel Bryan has been faithful this whole time?
Yes, and Homegirl got a popped eardrum and a concussion from Miss Brie Bella. We finally learned on Tough Talk tonight. So she has been through the paces with this storyline with Daniel Bryan, and she got her comeuppance from Miss Brie Bella.
Yeah. Now, Daria, let me ask you, because we were talking about it, because the news kind of broke while we were doing the show last week that she was joining on. as much as I do like Chelsea, and I like her background being, she's trained with Lance Storm and all that, I'm against the fact that someone in the middle of the season that no one's really known is suddenly popping up. I mean, what are your thoughts with that?
I mean, come on. What is reality TV without its twists and turns? A smart businessman would do just what they did. Throw somebody in the mix that hasn't gone through the horrible challenges that we did and give them some, fun challenges like the promo challenge and the actual wrestling challenge. It starts drama. It's smart.
It kind of reminds me of back in the day when the Flavor of Love days. Flavor of Love season 2. Oh, God. Mid-season, they brought back New York from season 1 just to kind of mix things up.
That is reaching, honey, but yes.
That's what I thought of.
Yes.
You just compared Chelsea to New York from Flavor of Love.
And now
she hates you.
Now Chelsea's going to have her own spinoff.
Now Chelsea's calling you Creepy George.
Well, I was wondering if maybe Chelsea's edition was a response to all the social media criticism of folks saying they aren't wrestling yet, and none of these contestants have wrestling experience. Daria, of course you did, and you know what's up, but a lot of the folks didn't have any experience. We haven't seen them actually wrestle, and I think that her edition was maybe a response to being like, all right, you guys want to see a real wrestler? Here you go.
Well, and the other things, though, you're not going to see that we're wrestling. Most of you haven't done the physical training. You've been doing it for just a few weeks. Mm-hmm. Like, even the old Tough Enough seasons, they weren't doing matches until the finale. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to see you guys suddenly pull off 5, 10, 15-minute matches on this show. But yeah, what you're saying, and kind of what I've also been saying, because obviously Patrick had the training. Now we have someone on the female side who has the professional wrestling training. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to overall be the best for the show. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of surprising for us seeing so few with the wrestling experience there. Obviously, we have the MMA with you and Daria, and with Tanner, the football with Josh. So there are plenty of athletes there, plenty of people that can certainly do the stuff. And then you got people that don't belong there at all.
Right. And Christian, if you don't mind, I want to ask Daria real quick. Chelsea was part of the top 40, and I think maybe everyone thought that she would make that final cut because she had previous experience with the WWE. What was your experience with her in that top 40?
Me and Chelsea actually got along in the top 40. I remember when I came back for my interview where I had came out on national television, my face was like white, and everyone was like, what happened? What happened? Like, did you do really good? Did you do really bad? And Chelsea was like, what's the matter? And I was like, I just came out on national television in front of Triple H and all the WWE, and she was like, oh my God! She embraced me. So I've only had good experience with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to hear, because that's sort of what we saw from her tonight too, in talking up the other ladies, and sort of she came in and was sort of the anti-Diana. And
thank God.
Instead of stirring up drama.
Somebody who wants to be there. Somebody who doesn't want to, I had a wedding to plan. I mean, here's a girl, spoiler alert, who's been trained by a great wrestler in a great wrestling school.
Yes.
So,
Daria, will you be invited to Deanna's wedding?
Diana.
They call her Deanna. They call her Deanna all the time on the show.
Call her Deanna?
On the show, they call her Deanna all the time.
I've never heard them call her Deanna.
They call her all the Princess Di.
We'll go with that. But anyway, no, I will probably not get an invitation to that wedding. Yeah, they can check me off that list.
Listen, her 2014 calendars are half off at DianaQuitter.com. You guys can all check them out.
I want a year-old calendar for half off.
That is true.
I'm not entirely sure that I would have been able to watch without Daria sort of calling these other ladies out. And even tonight, Sarah Lee dubbed them as the bikini clones. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was something that you guys sort of reiterated while you were there, but we needed a voice of someone who was a little bit tougher and someone who maybe didn't have fake boobs. I do want to ask you, though, there's so much talk about you have fake this and that, the back and forth with the ladies and the catty stuff. Was there any part of you're obviously a tough chick, and you are obviously someone who is confident in themselves. Was there any part of you that let that get to you? Were you like, oh, these girls have fake this and that, and they're injecting this and that? Like, maybe there's a part, like, maybe I should be doing that.
I looked at it and I was like, why are they all like, there was obviously a trend going on.
Right.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's like that's what separated me. And I've done a lot of interviews since, and they've asked me, like, why did you get picked for Tough Enough? And I was like, because I'm real. I come, I show them who I am, and they liked it. And that's the bottom line. So I'm pretty happy with the portrayal that I made on the show. It was me. Diana annoyed the crap out of me, so I told her.
Amen.
Gabby got on my nerves, so I told her. I kind of just stuck true to who I am, and it worked for me for a little while. So,
well, we liked that, girl. Maybe some others couldn't say the same.
So today's challenge, or this week's challenge, I should say, is all about promos, and the crew gets visited by the 2015 King of the Ring, Bad News Barrett. And I gotta tell you, I felt that the promo that he gave as an example was one of the best promos he's done in a long time.
Yes.
Because I was waiting for this type of episode because I knew it was going to come because this is my specialty, because this is what I teach students out here. Because you don't want,
what he does, folks.
You don't want me to teach you how to do a suplex, but I can teach you how to cut a promo. and the key thing is when you're talking about your opponent, you want to put them over. You want to compliment them, and then explain why you're better. Because
did they ever explain that to you, Daria? Because it seemed even by the end that some of the contestants didn't know what a promo was.
No, but to be fair, I did my own research and I had a pretty good understanding of what a promo is. Like when Gabby said, "Oh, well, I don't know what a promo is," it was like, you just made yourself look bad because you should have done your homework before you came on the show.
You had like several days of the challenge.
With all due respect to Bad News Barrett, and I love obviously I love Bad News Barrett. I just wouldn't pick him as the guy to be the guy to represent the promo episode of Tough Enough.
Well, you would not pick Bray Wyatt because you want to keep that mystique and Mysterio character.
I just thought of him right now.
You wouldn't pick Ambrose, who's also up there, because he's the guy who kind of teach you how you have to live with like being in pain every day and going out and
Although
performing.
I expect to see him at some point.
And I would like to see him. We've already had Rollins.
And we want to talk about that, girl.
I'd say Cena, but it seems like he's more for a more important episode than the promo episode. Right.
So I mean, with Barrett in there, it's fine, but. What I like, because again, his promo kind of the exercise. He's talking about how he's the king of the ring. Booker T was the king of the ring. Billy Gunn was the king of the ring, and he put them over. He talked about these guys have achieved greatness. They're legends in this business. Booker's a Hall of Famer, but these kings,
I've got some bad news.
But kings crumble. I'm the king right now, and no one's ever going to take my throne because I'm the best one. Blah blah blah.
This is how it goes.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, but in everyone's defense, there's still a lot of people on the main card on the WWE that don't do that. That will put you down and then kind of go from there. And
that's why they don't get much mic time on Raw.
Amen.
It's really, I agree with you guys. Even in MMA, like they tell you, talk your opponent up, because then when you beat them, it looks amazing. And when you lose to them, it doesn't look that bad because they're
makes
amazing.
sense.
Right.
So same kind of thing. You compliment them, and then you tell them why all those things aren't going to work on you. I agree.
Because what is the most important thing that you're trying to convey in your promo?
Sell tickets.
Exactly. You want to sell tickets. You're not going to sell tickets by being like, hey, this Sunday I'm taking on George and I'm going to beat the crap out of him. I'm going to beat him limb from limb at Battleground, Battlefield, Battleship, whatever the hell it is. And, I'm just going to mop the floor with him because he's nothing. He's a piece of scum, da-da-da-da. Or I'm stepping in the ring this Sunday against George. George has proven time and time again he is the smartest, most intelligent man in sports entertainment. But it's time that someone finally takes him to school.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, blah blah blah. That's okay.
My turn yet?
No, you don't get a shot. But that's pretty much what you're kind of supposed to do, and that's what Barrett was conveying to them.
Yeah.
Which then led to them going to the Improv with Chris Jericho. And they're doing like a rap battle, but promo style, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's intense.
And the matchups they put them: Mata versus Josh, shocking. Big guy versus big guy. Why did Josh still do his British brawler thing?
Oh my God!
Because he thinks it's working for him.
I think that's what they told him to do, though. I think they told him to stick with their characters. I don't know that all of them did it.
Apparently, only those two got the memo.
Because they actually gave Patrick crap for it. They were like, "Why weren't you a character? You were just Patrick.
Yeah.
We don't want Patrick. We want a character." So I think they were actually on the right track. believe it or not.
Well, because Mata, like, he was good. Like, his character fit last week, and I thought that, and very much so, that he won that entrance, regardless of, I think Patrick won that, technically speaking. But I thought Mata had the best entrance out of everyone because he
didn't win it, though. That's what caused all that drama last week.
Of course, but I thought he fit the part. And I think for somebody like him, he should just run with it. So I don't blame him for sticking to that. But yeah, that British.
Well, he needs to fix that accent. and this is coming from someone who sucks at accents. I'm from Massachusetts and I can barely do a Boston accent. That was terrible. So
Park the con Harvard Yard.
Yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah.
So Mata won that first battle. Then it comes to Georgia versus Chelsea, and I was very surprised. Chelsea didn't really do anything.
No, we know she's got the most
she went to Lance Storm's school.
You stole my joke.
I know.
You stole my joke. She obviously went to the school of Lance Storm of promos. Apparently, he's only really good for... I'm sorry, Lance Storm. I love you. You're the man. But
I hope Lance Storm tweets you for that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to come after me. Good thing you're from Calgary.
So Georgia won that. Patrick pretty much treated it like it was a rap battle and just verbally ripped Tanner to shreds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then Amanda beat Gabby. No surprise there.
Were you surprised to see Gigi doing so well? She's kind of been, I think, a dark horse, or maybe kind of you wouldn't have suspected her, but she's doing great, right?
She was a dark horse at first, but only with the personality stuff. She was always really athletic, and that was her threat. But now she's a threat physically, charismatically, if that's even a word. She's a threat everywhere. So I tell everyone, Georgia's the girl to look out for here. Georgia's the clear winner. Obviously, it takes turns, and there could be some crazy twist where somebody else wins, but Georgia's the obvious winner in my mind.
Well, I mean, right now...
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to predictions later.
Well, she won my heart.
We know that, Creepy George. We know. We know. Because Sarah turned you down. We know.
Turn of heart.
Sad news, George.
Sad news, George.
Hashtag sad
yes! George. That's almost... That's even better than Creepy George. That's better than Creepy George.
I'm afraid I've got some sad news. Womp womp.
George is single again.
Downer.
The final battle was Sarah versus ZZ, which, first off, how did these two get paired together? Second of all, Jericho went off on Sarah.
Listen,
but that was
necessary.
I agree.
He's giving her on a silver platter. Yell at me.
I agree.
Yell at me, and she still didn't do it.
And it's funny. She's like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Like, stop apologizing.
Snooze.
That was the worst. That was the worst.
Yeah,
hard to watch.
And then listen, because we kind of want to ask you about this. She's a nice girl, right? I mean, no one's going to argue with that. Like, she's a nice girl, but you've got to have that fire in you. Do you think she's got that fire in her?
Sarah Lee is a sweetheart, and I got along with Sarah Lee. We really did get along in the house. But
is it really Sarah Lee or just Sarah?
Sarah.
Like, is Lee her last name?
I think it's like her.
Who cares?
I don't know.
We're never going to talk. We're never going to talk about her after this.
She's a nice girl, but I really, truly don't think she has what it takes to be in the WWE.
Agreed.
Like, if you have to pry it out of her when there's people like me, for example, that are just exploiting that energy, like, why pick her?
And you're dying watching that, thinking you would have killed that, right?
Of course, yeah. And it's like, if you have to pry it out of them, and they're not just showing the natural greatness in them, why bother? This is a competition. We're supposed to be the top 13 in the world because 11,000 people tried out for this. And then that's what you see. Yeah. A little disappointing.
Yeah.
So when it was all said and done, Patrick was voted as the winner of the challenge on the men's side and Georgia on the women's side. So pretty much a repeat of last week on the winners. And this set Josh and Mata off. Because Josh and Mata were just like, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. When I think he kind of did.
No, I think he
to an extent.
He was like, oh, well, he's playing to the crowd too much.
which you have to in promos.
Aren't you supposed to do that as a pro wrestler?
Especially if you're a babyface. Yeah. You want to, because you want to get them involved, and even like also the heels to antagonize the crowd. Oh, I love being in Cincinnati because the best part is when I leave Cincinnati.
I do want to get Daria's comment because somebody on Twitter was asking her. But what do you think about maybe the boys in my opinion, I thought they kind of ganged up on Patrick. I'm not even that big of a Patrick fan, but they kind of like, you see Mata and Patrick arguing, and you see, well, Josh, shut up, you're just a sidekick, and then you literally see from the back like Josh throwing a drink in Patrick's face, and like if it was anything else, you would think that it's kind of bullying. Like, what do you think about that whole scene?
Okay, so here's my thing. I could see how Patrick could really get under your skin. I mean, he's doing it on purpose. He's probing and probing and probing. Sure. And Josh and Mata took the bait, and they freaked. And in turn, they kind of looked silly. And Patrick kind of looked... All right, so here's my thing. I like Patrick. I'm kind of on the Patrick bandwagon. He is so charismatic. He's so intelligent. And when he talks... Yeah, he can be ripping someone apart, but it makes sense and it works for him. He's doing it and he's doing it right. Yeah. So I can't even hate on Patrick. I'm all about it.
Did you because I lost a little respect for Mata and Josh, a little bit. I still like them, but I still lost a little bit of respect. Anyone else think the same?
I was kind of surprised at Mata. Josh, I mean, he was getting in his face, but we've seen Josh get in Tanner's face before, so I wasn't too surprised at that. But Mata, I was just like, dude, you're sounding like a sore loser. Even though you did a great job, I mean, even Hogan talked about it later on, you don't. This isn't for like immunity. This isn't giving you all of a sudden extra bonus points to not get in the bottom three. You can win a challenge and still get in the bottom three. So don't take it too seriously.
Right. It matters who wins, who the immortal Hulk Hogan says he approved of. Yeah. And I'm just kind of wish that these guys would just whip it out and make a measurement and make a comparison and then be done with it. And then we could all move on.
Creepy Christy.
I'm just saying.
Creepy Christy.
Just be done with it so that we can all move on.
It's
it's an ego fest in there, and I think Christy's right. That might solve the problem.
I just feel like it's a very rare occasion where I am the least creepy one, and I'm wearing the damn Rose shirts for crying out loud.
You're all equally as creepy.
Thank you, Daria. Thank you.
We like to objectify the men as much as the ladies. Yes. So that just make everything even. All right.
Equality.
Make it even. Yes. Girl power.
We go back to the barracks and maybe some sparks are flying between Tanner and Chelsea.
I love this so much.
And we get the hug. Thank you. For being so nice to me my first day, and he does. I feel like this was like from some How to Pick Up Girls book that was made in 1981.
Creepy George book,
and it worked. And it's worked for me, and I'm surprised it didn't work for. I'm surprised he didn't work. I'm surprised.
So you've done that?
I've done it. I'm gonna do it like in an hour.
And not get maced?
Watch out, Daria. Watch out.
Hey, who's the one sitting next to me, huh?
Oh, boy.
She's also got a wedding ring on.
Oh. I chose not to say that.
This is why George doesn't sit next to me on the show. But yeah, so
next to Steve. If
there you go.
He gets very uncomfortable when I reach his leg.
Moving on.
This show has done.
So Tanner is trying to get with Chelsea. We'll see what happens there, I guess. It's a reality show relationship. Shocker.
Oh, but you know what?
I'm surprised it took this long.
I am too, and it was very clear that she had her eyes out for him from the top 40 business. Like, she walked in that house and she put a little picture of herself on his mantle. Like, she was gunning for this, but at the same time, not in a skanky way that made you want to not like her. This just happened organically.
She likes guys.
Clearly.
Tanner's been locked up in the
organically.
barracks. Tanner's been locked up in the barracks for a few weeks. Sarah Lee turned him down. He apparently is getting a little bit desperate at
He
this point.
even said that. He was like, "Oh, Sarah Lee." So I got
Sarah Lee turned me down. This girl's got a boyfriend. This girl's married.
Georgia made it very
Look
clear
who's
from
left.
the beginning that she's single. She's like, "Hey guys, I'm single."
I know.
So I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner.
I'm surprised.
Amen. And if y'all didn't watch Tough Talk and saw what transpired between her and Daniel Bryan, you want to tune into that.
Chelsea and Daniel Bryan. Oh, I totally forgot about that.
He brought it up.
You just brought it up 10 minutes ago.
It was
I know,
brought up.
but it totally. I totally forgot about that. Oh, well, Daniel Bryan.
Yes. I've got all the details from Tough Talk. For those of you who maybe don't have access to it, maybe we'll go there at the end.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. I've got what I learned from Tough Talk.
There you go. What I learned from Tough Talk.
Coming up in 20 minutes.
Next day at the Performance Center, they are learning how to take shoulder tackles as well as learn to do the pickup part of the body slam. What are you guys doing over there? I'm trying to be professional and failing miserably. See what happens when you come here, Daria. Everything's just going crazy.
You guys need to come on the UFC after show and make it a little more fun.
Absolutely.
Are you guys going to be here tomorrow?
Tomorrow, what time?
Make us the WWE Tough Enough after show. Tough Talk.
We are the WWE Tough Enough after show, Christy.
Listen.
Oh my God, what is in your cup?
Nothing anymore.
So they're learning how to do shoulder tackles and body slams.
Let's talk about
Finally, some wrestling.
We got some wrestling.
I did agree that.
Yes.
We got some wrestling. For the most part, everyone seems to be doing pretty well with it.
Exactly.
Josh was doing really well with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, obviously a natural. Chelsea's obviously a natural with it. Even Gabby's not doing too bad with it.
Right.
Except.
Then it's Sarah's turn. And Sarah sucks at it. I mean, I'm sorry. She couldn't figure it out.
Now, what was her background? Is she just like a bodybuilder?
She's a power lifter.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
She's a power lifter.
No gymnastics.
And the girlfriend
no,
of a wrestler.
No
And the
athletics.
girlfriend of a wrestler, you're right, yes.
Okay. Maybe that,
Don't make you
A
wrestle.
power lifter, that's an athlete. Just
Yeah, so I mean, you have to lift.
if a bikini model's an athlete, power lifter's an athlete.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
they're all doing the same. You know,
Right.
they're all lifting and working out.
So, and I know it's always tough at first, kind of learning where you're supposed to, place your hand when you're being lifted, how you're supposed to lift, your opponent. But she had chances over and over and over, and this is just what they showed on TV. Obviously that's cut many times for however long it actually took her. And Billy Gunn had every right to be pissed.
He was so mad.
I love Billy Gunn so much.
He was almost as mad as Paige was at the beginning. He was mad. And you know what? I sort of understand at this point, as a fan and coming from a point of understanding from the judges, you want this to be somebody who wants this really bad. And when someone is so poor in the day-to-day wrestling WWE techniques of it, you know that person doesn't really give two hoots about WWE wrestling. So I think they're reading a lot into her lack of skills. I think maybe Paige, who has made a lot of sacrifices, is seeing these ladies as not having made the same sacrifices as she has. We've seen Paige get really hot under the collar on Total Divas as well about some of the other girls who aren't making the sacrifices. And Paige was mad tonight. She was upset that Sarah Lee is still there. She was mad that Sarah Lee...
I think Paige is getting angrier every week.
Paige, she is. She's hot under the collar, and even Hulk was sort of seeming to get annoyed even with her tonight.
I enjoy it.
And how mad she was. I'm fine with it. Yeah, listen, if you're that passionate about it, and understandably so, this is someone who, since she was a teenager, has traveled the world and given a lot of sacrifices to do what she does, and to be Paige, and to see someone come in and just try to be a diva, a bikini model... I understand it. I get it. I understood her frustration.
Kind of going back to Billy Gunn and like the training. Daria, when the cameras weren't rolling, was Billy Gunn that intense with you guys? Like, was he getting angry like that too? Or was it just for camera purposes?
No, like, if we couldn't get certain things, of course, he didn't freak out like that, but at the same time, we weren't doing the same level of repetition that you see on camera. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing. He doesn't really put on a front. These guys are who they are. You got Booker T's kind of like the hard one. Lita's kind of like the mom. She always is trying to help us out, like, don't tell Dad I told you this type thing. And then Billy Gunn's kind of like the middleman. He can be nice, but he can also get hard on you when he wants you to improve.
Well, it seemed like the judges kind of liked you a lot and sort of picked you out as their front runner. Even Daniel Bryan, who elected you to be in the bottom 3, he definitely had it out for you at the beginning. He liked you a lot. What do you think it was about you that they all sort of attracted to at the beginning?
I think at the beginning they saw, I had prior experience. I'm an MMA fighter. I think they liked that. And I think they saw that in the athletic challenges that we had. I was bringing it. And then I think that they saw, like I said before, that I'm real. That I do have this natural attitude and this natural character that a lot of people have to fake. You know what I mean? They're trying to draw it out of Sarah Lee. They kind of had to draw it out of Gabby. Whereas me, it just comes out. It's who I am. I can't help it. So I think that they saw that and they naturally were attracted to it.
And understandably so.
So Chelsea and Josh are vote. I mean, I guess they won, but it really wasn't a challenge. So stop playing with your glass over there.
This is awesome.
Then we get back to the barracks, and Sarah starts crying because and to be fair, and I hate crying on reality shows because even though they're all time,
listen, you girly effing girls,
but
keep those tears in your eyes.
Hold on. Let me finish. I know she cried too. I know she's
hey.
But
good reason.
Passion, baby.
Passion. Yeah, no. And
it shows that they care.
And can I finish my damn sentence?
Please finish.
Because that's what I was trying to get to. Because it does show that they're passionate, and it shows, to be fair, from what we viewed on the TV in the last 2 weeks, everyone has beaten the crap out of Sarah. And so, she really has. So I actually appreciated these tears because it's just like, it's showing that she is listening and she is caring, and to me, this really proves that she is legitimately trying.
And that's all I want. I want this to go to somebody who wanted it really, really badly.
Sarah Lee is definitely. I can give her that. She definitely wants it. She's a big fan. She's a person that's passionate about WWE prior to coming on the show, and that's cool. And I think that's gotten her this far. But do you deserve to be the next WWE champion or WWE diva, I should say, because you want it so bad? I wanted it really bad, but I also had the athleticism to back it up. I had the in-ring skills to back it up. And I think I had the character to back it up.
You're just picking it up a lot quicker than her, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think naturally Sarah Lee falls in the back of the line, even behind Gabby, when it comes to everything.
Daria, it must be so hard to sit and watch Sarah Lee or even some of the rest of these girls survive another week, even Gabby to be on another week than you were. Were you shouting at the screen tonight watching?
It's a little bit frustrating, but
so frustrated?
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but seeing the opportunities that are now available to me, and it's just a different path. I talked to my mom right after I got eliminated, and I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's just a different path. I'm still going to be in the WWE. I'm still going to be a diva. But it's just a different road.
I love that.
It's okay.
I love that.
That was confidence, right?
Especially if we've seen in the past, every season of Tough Enough, there are a lot of runners-up, whether it's, the first person eliminated or the 10th person eliminated, that do a lot better than the winners.
The only person from last season that showed up was the first person eliminated.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Amen. And she's not in Total Divas anymore, but... The first person eliminated from the last Tough Enough is the only one who is still wrestling with WWE.
Right.
Ariane.
A.K.A. Cameron. So we get to the live kind of Q&A portion. Really not much of a Q&A. Paige went off on Sarah again.
Yes.
But the big highlight for this was Hulk Hogan called Patrick a smart mark.
Oh my God. And I knew that this was going to happen at some point because I like Patrick overall. I kind of see where he's coming from, but you got to find a balance, dude. You can't just sit there and just feel like you know it all or know everything, because again, then you come across as a smart mark. And I knew that at some point it was going to catch up with him, being this guy, you know. So I don't blame Hogan for thinking that way.
And it's been working with him for the fans, even when they went to the Improv and knowing who's on everyone's shirts. Like, it's been working for him. So,
and I think a lot of it is like Patrick has all this WWE knowledge, so he's seen over the years what works and what doesn't work. And I think what he's trying to do is he sees that in the WWE, the people that succeed are the big characters. You know, the people that make a statement. And I feel like he's trying to follow that trend in the sense of, you know, being bold, being charismatic, being over the top with whatever it is that he's committed to being. And I feel like he's kind of doing it.
Yeah. And then bottom 3 get announced. Patrick is not in the bottom 3, but not surprised by that. Of
course.
We have Sarah Lee again, Gabby, and
Can I say that Daniel Bryan picked Gabby? Just want to throw it out there first.
Yeah,
Four time.
and Tanner.
That was a surprise.
Mr. First couple weeks, like, okay, this is the guy to beat. Stud Muffin. God, I hated that. But it's not his fault. That's what he drew. And so he is in the bottom 3, and you know that's hurting his ego.
Oh, for sure. Well, can we ask Daria about the boys?
Yes, ask me about the boys.
Who stood out to you as that superstar hottie boy, like...
Josh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, over Tanner.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Josh is like, the Yeti's like this, like, I'm so sly, I got this natural swagger, like, he can dance. And I don't mean like
the guy's like 6'8".
He can dance.
Doesn't mean he can't dance.
I've never seen a guy have big dance.
And he's
love that.
He's hot when he dances. Like, he's really an attractive guy, especially coming from a girl that doesn't even like guys anymore.
Right.
Like, he's got swagger. Like, Josh is like a 10.
All right, look out for Josh, ladies. Uh-oh. I was kind of on, because I didn't, none of the men connected with me through the last 3 episodes. But then when Tanner did the stud muffin thing last episode, I was sort of like,
And tripped over the
for the show is that the ladies were way stronger than the guys.
Yeah, the ladies are trucking strong. I think there is a divide now where the guys are kind of overpowering the ladies. The first 3 episodes, I think it was girls go hard. But this episode, I think the guys are stepping up.
You left, so the ladies division got weaker.
Rightfully so.
Girl power is gone.
I mean,
Girl
speaking
power
of the
is
guys, do you
gone.
think that Hank and Alex were the bottom 2 of the guys?
Oh, yeah.
Not Hank, Alex.
Okay.
Just because Alex was a little clumsy in the ring too, and he didn't stand out in person. He's a really funny guy, a really good guy, but I don't think he gave it his all. I don't think he was putting it all out there. And then he said that retarded comment, which got him the boot.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah. I talked with him after it was eliminated about how that was just like, why would anyone?
Yeah.
And to be fair, like Connie, what you're saying, when I had the conversation with him, I was just like, where was this guy on the show? Because he seemed very personable.
Funny. Yeah.
Good sense of humor, really fun to talk to, but he really didn't have the right answer, like a good answer to say for his idiotic comment that he gave.
He's not the best talker.
No.
But he's a sweetheart.
So, and then speaking of talking, look at you with the segues. For the bottom 3, they have to cut a promo on the judge that put him in the bottom 3. So it's just like, wait a minute.
As it should be.
We're having them do one more thing before commercial, before the voting opens. You mean what we've been saying since day freaking 1? Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Christian Rosenberg, they listened to you.
Yes, it was solely because of me. You're welcome, WWE Universe. So, Gabby, again, even though they reviewed the promo stuff when they did it at the Improv, and she got critiques saying, hey, that's not a promo, she then is at a job interview. And she's like, well, I have great work ethic. I'm a good team player. I feel like I would be really good at this job. Like, did she even call? She might even call it a job for all I know. It was just so. I wanted to punch my TV.
It was reflective of not caring.
Right.
I think is what it was.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like I said, Sarah
I'm not
Lee
paying
has
attention.
What?
Not paying attention either.
Yeah, like Sarah Lee has a lot of heart, and I'll give that to her, and I'll even pick Sarah Lee over Gabby for that exact reason. Sarah Lee wants it. Gabby doesn't want it. Gabby doesn't want it like the rest of us did.
Then Tanner.
That's interesting.
Tanner was kind of half and half. He was starting to do exactly what Gabby did until Hogan was just like, tell me why you're better than me.
Yeah.
And then he started opening up, but he only had like 10 seconds of it.
Does not know what a promo is, or not, to not give it your all and give a little gusto with
Study,
come
people.
on.
Study.
Come on. I mean, I think anyone in this room, we're not performers, we're not wrestlers, but like I could look in this camera right now and cut a promo because I watch wrestling.
Cut a promo on Daria right now. Cut one on Daria.
No. They can
do it. Why not? Why not?
Because they can watch my Tough Enough video and see me cut a promo. YouTube.com/Christy Reports.
Cut a promo.
I'm just saying.
Why don't you cut one on Daria or on George?
Cut one on me.
Because I don't want to be mean.
Okay, Sarah Lee.
I was just gonna say, I'm so nice and sweet, like Sarah Lee, as you guys know. Yes? No? Oh, okay.
I don't see any similarity.
I didn't know I wasn't as nice as Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee gets her chance. She's cut a promo on Paige, and Paige tells her, like, Paige walks back around the desk, and Sarah, they meet face to face. And this is what we've been waiting for the last month out of Sarah.
Yes.
And she cut a solid promo.
She did.
Even Paige was just like, all right, it's about time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paige gave her some props.
And I really think, I honestly I was surprised that nobody then saved her. After, because I thought because of that they might have done it.
They didn't have to. They knew they didn't have to. Yes.
She has the biggest fan following. It's obvious.
But they should use the damn saves.
No.
They're not going to use them.
Use a save when someone legit's about to go home and you know they need the votes. Like if Gigi was in the bottom 3, that's a save right there.
Do you think that all 3 saves are going to be used? Because I don't.
No. I don't know. Maybe not. It might not be necessary.
Are you annoyed that everyone is so enamored with Sarah Lee when she maybe doesn't have the skills to back it up? Because I've been sitting here with these boys for 3 weeks going, Sarah Lee, and I'm like, let's watch this girl's skills, boys.
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon.
Not anymore.
It's an interesting phenomenon that she has this huge.
They conceded at the end of last week.
Oh, okay. No more.
Well, you told me. You were like, dude, I don't know why you're just get over Sarah Lee.
George,
go to Georgia.
George, you just single.
Gigi, my girl.
Team Gigi.
I'm pimping you out.
George,
It was your guys' interview. I watched your guys' interview, and they're like, I don't know why George's favorite. You're like, oh, well, she's not single anyways.
George, you just said that you changed your pick because Daria told you to.
Well, after watching your guys' interview.
Listen, if anybody would
after
know.
Watching your guys' interview.
Anybody would know.
I just gave him the inside details, and he chose on his own. That is that. Wait, what was my? You guys asked me something.
How are you?
Oh, just about Sarah in general. Like, were you annoyed that you were eliminated and she was still there?
This is what I signed up for. You know, I knew it was going to be fan voting. I knew this is how it was going to work. And at the end of the day, having fans is part of being in the WWE.
Right.
You need to appeal to them. So whatever she did to appeal to them, whether it be wearing a camouflage shirt or whatever she wore the first day, you know, a flannel shirt with work boots. Maybe it's that they like the whole small town girl thing. Whatever it was,
you're like, I could have done that. Come on.
Yeah, whatever it was that attracted them to Sarah Lee, it worked. So good job, Sarah Lee, for getting the fan votes. That's one segment of what it takes to be a WWE superstar that she has. I have the other 3. So.
Boom, mic drop.
That's a promo.
That's
a promo.
There it was. She would have just won that challenge right there. Right there. So, promos finish, and we come back, and Chris Jericho does his best Ryan Seacrest impression. Because now they've changed and saying, he walks up to Sarah Lee. Sarah, I need you to know, even though we don't have the results up yet for the audience to watch,
you're safe.
You are not eliminated.
See, after that, I was waiting for like we're gonna find out who's gonna go home when we come back.
But Jericho, to be fair, Jericho did that during the special on the WWE Network because he did it to me. He was like, "I'm sorry, Daria, but you're gonna stay," and I was like, "So."
I just don't know. Like, again, we're changing the stuff, so. The last 3 weeks, we did not have that at all.
That's true.
But now we know before the results that one of the 3, all right, we're fine. Now we know it's just one of these 2. Even though we're still seeing Sarah's voting, which she had like 60-something%.
It's
but with 11%, Gabby is sent home. And then when Renee Young runs up to her,
this was the best.
Gabby says,
I'm just gonna go back here.
If anyone knows Renee Young, you know, I've listened to her on interviews and podcasts. She is very, very good at her job.
Renee is really good at her job.
She's very, very good at her job. She's very got a personality. So for her to react the way she, you can tell she was like,
Christy's not agreeing with you, but she's entitled to her opinion, even though in this case it's right.
I seriously wish she would have explored that a little bit more with Gabby. Gabby straight up said to her in her face, I am glad that I was eliminated, and Renee didn't really explore that with her, and I was disappointed.
You had 30 seconds on the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For one thing, there were 30 seconds.
If I can pull this out right now and drop it.
If anybody watches Renee's mannerisms as much as I do, because I'm Creepy George apparently, and I do love Renee Young, you can tell in her face, it was like, wait, so you're happy that you're going to go home? Like, the way she said it, you know that was a typical Renee Young saying that.
No, she's like, what are you for saying? What the hell did you say?
And it wasn't exploratory.
Renee's response was hilarious. She was like, Renee's usually very composed and beautiful, and she's always smiling, and she was like,
she was
thrown off because she's not an experienced interviewer.
Hello, I just cried on stage, didn't want to go home, and then you just say you're glad.
Yeah, and then she just let it go after that, and now I'm.
They had 20 seconds left.
I mean, listen, I'm hardcore.
Okay.
The people who know me and know my interviews know I'm hardcore.
Did you magically fill up your cup again?
That. No.
I mean, and Chrissy just spilled on the desk.
I did that before. I thought it was empty.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
So, needless to say, Gabby was sent home.
Now we're empty.
And so I'll be chatting with Gabby tomorrow morning on the phone here at AfterBuzz. So if you have,
good luck,
I know.
Good luck.
Actually, Daria, do you have any questions that you would like me to ask Gabby?
No, the
answers
take way too long and they don't make any sense. So good luck.
Okay. Well, if you have a question, you can send it to me.
I'll tweet you.
I'll tweet it to me
real quick.
But because we're not done. We have a couple more questions for Daria.
Still not done. So I interviewed, of course, my amazing interview with you last Wednesday.
It was great. Yeah.
It was amazing, to be honest with you.
Very well done, George.
It was really good.
It was okay.
It would have been better if I did it.
Peanut butter and
Well, I mean, I did it first. So.
But so I asked you, how was it like getting the response? And this was what? 12 hours after you got eliminated, 13 hours. It's been a week more. So now you've gotten so much more. I'm still getting #BringBackDaria like 7 days later. But one of the things I did want to touch upon is I saw Mick Foley tweeted you, and I want to quote everyone out there. Quote, and then this is Mick Foley at #RealMick or at RealMickFoley. Seriously, Daria with a world of potential got voted off last week for not having a perfect entrance. #Tough Enough is not good enough. So when you see guys like that, like Mick Foley, who was a Hall of Famer, so was Jim Ross as well, but guys like Mick Foley who reached out to you saying, hey, this is what's going on, and I'm not happy with it, like, how does that make you feel?
I died. I was like, oh my gosh, this is all so real. I mean, when I got voted off, I knew I still had a chance in the WWE. I know that's my goal. I know I'm going to get there. I always do what I say I'm going to do. So I had the confidence in myself, but to hear it from a WWE legend, a Hall of Famer like Mick Foley, it just solidified everything I believed in.
Because it's not like he's tweeting everybody that either,
No. And, to have his support, Jim Ross, Lance Storm reaching out, all the people that have reached out have just made this that much better.
And what about even the MMA community? You had big wrestling fan, but also legend in women's MMA, Shayna Baszler, saying, "Hey, it's not even worth watching anymore. I'm not even watch Tough Enough anymore because it's
Shayna Baszler is a legend. You said it just right." And I kind of tweeted her, and I was like, "Hey, I would love to train with you in the ring or the cage sometime." We have mutual friends, but I never met Shayna Baszler, and she was like, "Oh, I'm rooting for you," but she didn't know I got eliminated already. And then she saw I got eliminated. She's like, "I'm done with Tough Enough." There's definitely a lot of people that are angered by me being eliminated because I think they saw a legitimate WWE diva, and that just makes it that much better. Like I said, now it's time to take all these pieces and make it into something.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, put me on the spot, baby.
Baby, you have 2 contracts in front of you. One for a UFC match and a WWE developmental contract. Which one are you signing?
Listen, I am training MMA 5 hours a day. I'm training WWE and I say WWE, not pro wrestling, because that's the term they prefer. And I'm training pro wrestling 5 hours a day. I am putting everything into everything I love. I quit my job and I will eat ramen noodles for the next couple months because I'm pursuing my dream.
I love it.
And George knows. George can vouch for me. I used to work like 50 hours a week to keep up my lifestyle. Like, I'm changing everything and putting everything on the line for this opportunity. And I would only do this for an opportunity like this.
Well, I mean,
God,
with that type of confidence,
I love to hear that.
we know for. I mean, we already pretty much knew from watching, knowing your background here at AfterBuzz. You're going to be on NXT very soon.
Amen.
That's a definite. So, I mean, we're going to keep obviously following you and watching all your progress. And how can, if the fans aren't following you yet on social media, and shame on them, if they are not, how can people reach out to you?
Okay, social media. Where's my cam? Is that my cam?
That's your camera.
Okay, social media. You can follow me at Tough Daria on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at Daria Berenato on all your other social media. You can like my Facebook fan page, Daria the Jersey Devil. And you can check out all my MMA fights because you guys have been requesting that. Just go to YouTube, type in my name, and you'll find all my fights and my grappling matches and all that cool stuff. I want to let you guys know, first of all, thank you for voting for me and thank you for following me on this continued journey. But I'm going to let you know this is going to be the funnest journey ever. It's Daria to the WWE, and it's going to be an awesome one. So
Hell yeah.
Follow.
That was awesome. By the way, is the Lobster back here in LA with you?
The Jersey Lobster has adoptive parents, Georgia and Amanda.
Okay.
They are taking care of the. There's some cool parents. They're taking care of the Jersey Lobster back at the barracks.
Okay.
So I get updates. I get pictures of selfies with Georgia sleeping with the lobster, and Amanda. They take turns every other night.
Nice.
I'm so glad
It's a very lucky lobster.
Lucky indeed.
So they're taking good care of the lobster.
Awesome. So in the meantime, also, Christy, how can people reach out to you?
Oh, everybody, please check me out at ChristyReports.com, and I'm everywhere at Christy Reports. I like to chat with you.
George.
Ditto, but not at Christy Reports.
So it's not ditto.
You can find me, exactly, at Hermoza, GHERMOZA. That's it.
Okay. That was a very energetic ending there. Follow me on Twitter at Ro Rosenberg, Instagram at the Ro Rosenberg. Again, tomorrow morning I will be having a phone interview with Gabby. If you have questions that you would like me to ask her, tweet them to me. Give me like hashtag ABTV Ask Gabby. We'll go with that. And of course, for all your other AfterBuzz TV news, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Daria, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks,
She's going to be here. She's going to go back to her hosting duties.
Yes.
Tomorrow night at 11 p.m. where we're going to recap the UFC Fight Night.
UFC Fight Night, UFC AfterBuzz is my home, guys. You can also check me out here every Sunday night at 6 p.m.
Awesome. So thank you all so much for tuning in this week. For Daria Berenato, Christy Olsen, and George Hermoza, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.